Welcome back to another episode of Look What Just Found. This is episode 44. Yesterday we did coin roll hunt. Very good. Very good. Found some great stuff. I mean, it goes without saying that in older coin rolls that are unsearched and have mostly copper, it's going to be a little bit more interesting. It's just different, you know. It's so easy to get the federal wrapped rolls, and those federal wrap rolls have very specific errors, um, which I will talk about during the video. But lately I've been looking at a lot of mostly customer brought back unsearched rolls, and they're really good. Today, though, we're gonna do the. This is in our last search change episode. We did the overflow. We had that little jar that lasted like I think 3 videos, and I did a really long one, probably a little bit longer than I want to do today, even though I probably will always say that. This nice, beautiful mason jar. That's really for the marbles, and thank God I had it. Fortunately, okay, that's about it. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, I'll do that much. Okay, and look, it looks like right from the beginning, it looks like I could already see just through the camera. It looks like a clad air recorder. Okay, put this back on the floor. And if you didn't watch I could bring this back down. If you didn't watch all of the previous pocket change videos, you can watch it. It has a very interesting story. Maybe I'll go into it later. I try not to rehash things too often because I want to provide. I'm gonna leave this one for the last quarter, and I want the videos to be interesting, So I want to talk about different things. One of the things that I understand as a making YouTube videos, people develop. There's another one. Got 2 of them, similar anyway. Who make a lot of YouTube videos, right? Not you. Okay, we even got one of those. You develop I don't know if it's a voice, personality, if an alter ego comes. I don't know what I really don't understand the psychology of that, As a social worker, I work mostly in hospitals, and I did therapy. As I did do some mental health therapy, and I did addiction therapy. Look at that one. Wow, that's a beat up one. But as far as specific psychology of human nature, not so much. That wasn't my forte. So I really don't understand it. I guess that's my long way of saying that. I really don't understand. I'll put that one over there too. How that works, like I'm discovering all of these things on the fly because, right? I mean, I want it to be as nice a video as possible, right? I want as many people to watch it as possible. And I want to be consistent. I think that's a big part of it, being consistent. And the consistency, I think, is where I develop a little bit of a different personality than, when I'm walking around the street necessarily, like I get into a mindset, let's call it. So, how I got into that conversation is beyond me. It happens all the time. It's something you have to, you almost have to expect. And has nothing to do with what I know I started the conversation off out with, which was to look at the previous videos of pocket change to understand the story behind that ball jar. Which I guess it's not that long of a story, right? Which is that I, the ball jar almost got contaminated with my current, because I've had the ball jar for, excuse me, I've had the, not the ball jar, I had the water jug for years with my pocket change, and then I had the little jar that I put my current pocket change in, and from the current jar pocket change, it goes into the water jug. But I've been doing the videos now for about going on 3 months, and I was just about to put the um the past 3 months pocket change into the water jug that I've been saving pocket change in for years. And I was like, I caught myself. I was like, what are you doing? You have all this great, so that ball jar is, it's in the previous video. You can watch the, my revelation of that, and putting my old pocket change into the ball jar. I actually do it on camera. So if you haven't watched my previous videos, watch them. And that they say you could type into the, you can type into the search on the channel if you type in pocket change, or you can go to the pocket change playlist, and then I think you can go newest to oldest or what have you, and you can find it. You can watch them all. You can binge watch. Look what Jess found. I mean, I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. Most of them are shorts, obviously, because I do like 1 to 3 longer videos a day, and then from the significant findings, I do the shorts, right? And people they love the shorts. I get more views on the shorts than I do the longs, which is extremely disappointing. Oh, I got my coffee. Thank you, Lord. Okay. We're going to start off with dimes, nickels, and then I have to figure out if I'm going to do quarters or pennies next. Yeah, so check out my pocket change videos. Watch them. It helps out the channel, because obviously I get more watch time off of people who watch longer videos than off of those, shorts. But people like the shorts, so I do them, and they're easy. That's the truth of the matter. Shorts are very easy. I could do 10 shorts in 10 minutes. And then people who just like to, and I guess that's more like a phone platform, something that you could just swipe. Anyway, too much about that. Here we go. Let's see what we find today. Yeah. When I first got the, oh, that's all. The first one we pick up is it's really off centered because it's misaligned on both sides. But you know what? I'm just gonna. I'm not. I'm not gonna go bananas. It's a beauty. $73. Yeah, when I first got into the YouTube partner program, um, a lot of tools opened up, and one of those tools was the this is definitely a I shouldn't say definitely, I shouldn't use that word here, but I'm pretty sure it's a clad error. When I saw the front, and I was like, maybe, but then when I turned to the back, it looks so um not frosted, it's not the right word, but missing clad. It's just so obvious. Well, hold on to that. We found some really good dimes over the past few weeks. Look at, this has the ring of death. Look at that. It's pretty cool, right? Misalign. That's a nice misalign too. And one of the tools was the this one even looks a little something going on over there. You see the looks like it's bent or something slightly. And one of the tools was the music. And I do like music. I do. I'm not crazy about music. I do like music. And I like a variety of music, and depending on my mood, um, will dictate what type of music I want to listen to. But I was like a kid with a new toy. All of these um, features that for all these years I never even, I never seen because I was never a YouTube partner. And all of a sudden they just pop up, and one of them was the music and all this really great free music that I only saw I have no idea if there's ways of using it as a non YouTube partner, but they're right at your fingertips as a YouTube partner. And there's ways to add the music to it's interesting. It could just it's hard to tell. There's ways to add music, of course, to videos right there in the editing. Yeah, I see that. I thought I saw something in the 6 for a second. Eyes are playing tricks on me. But it would seem, and the more opinions I get, obviously, then I have more decisions to make. But if there's just a few opinions on which direction, I'm obviously outside of my own personal preference, then it's going to hold more weight, right? Those opinions will hold more weight. And obviously, without saying, members' opinions will hold the most weight. I mean, it's just common sense, right? So I'm not saying anything mind blowing here. But misaligned on the back and misaligned in the front, but not too misaligned. And doing the music really was an extra chore, and maybe it was a little distracting for me, right? Because as you can tell, I get a little distracted as it is. So someone said they didn't care for the music, preferred for the peace and quiet. You know who you are. There are a few. Yeah, I see that. It is pretty thick on this one. Let me look at the rim. It is pretty thick on this one. I don't know. I don't think anyone's going to want to buy this for $1. So that's that. All right, we're going to go to Nichols next. Yeah, there are more and more um, specific voices that are becoming more integrated into the channel. I appreciate all you guys. You know who you are: Otis, Rockers, Eric, amongst others. Um, those are the three that come to mind, and very respectful gentlemen who have a good coin knowledge. Most specifically, Penny, because that's really what we do mostly here on the channel. Or pennies. I don't know how. Obviously, the channel could take other directions as time goes on, but this is where we're at now, and will be for a while. All right, it's a little too close because the nickel is bigger than a penny. I have to back it up a little. So I was kind of relieved a little bit when someone said, "Hey, yeah, I'm not too crazy about the background music." I was like, "Oh, good. Me either." And I will take that as a compliment, because there's only really two things that were going on: was the background music and my voice. So my voice it is al dente. Even with the shorts, it's a pain in the neck. I never found another silver nickel. I never found another proof nickel. That's okay. That's all right. All right, that's the last of the nickels. We're moving right along here. Okay. Now the question is, are we going to do pennies first or quarters first? I think we're going to do quarters first. And let me just move them over. And you know what I'm going to do before the quarters? Because last time I had left the euro. I called it a bueno. Oh my god, I felt so silly afterwards. Because the lighting made the E look like a B, and I was like, bueno, what's a bueno? And it was a euro, and it was a 50-cent euro, which I never even heard of before. But it was in how it got into the pocket change. The only thing I could assume is that I put the euro in there. I got it somehow. I just threw it into the jar, and it came out. Remember, you always have to check these on the side. If you find one without letters, or missing the year, or missing something, they're worth big bucks. The ones without any writing at all worth big bucks. Second president, John Adams, right? He's one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Okay. All right, here we go. Without further ado, let's see. Did I leave those special quarters? Yeah. Okay, so that's the last one we're gonna do, is that one. I'm calling them special. They were probably just dirty, but I think get a little closer than that. Maybe a little. All right. There we go. Yeah, we definitely want to see the W. A silver, of course, would be Wunderbar. You see, I mean, some of these, to me, the coin is old, it's worn. I'm not gonna go. I'll look at it. You have to look at it though. I wish I could see it in the. This could be a repunch, or it might not be. I can't. I'm not going to hold on to change with a question mark because I put them. First of all, a lot of this stuff goes on eBay, right? Don't forget my eBay store. Just click below. Want to help out by just spending $2? You can take a penny. And right on the bottom of the flips, look what Jess found. Grand Canyon. I went to the Grand Canyon once. And when did I go to the Grand Canyon? 2000, not 2000, 1993. I want to say 1993. It was something to behold. There are parts. I had a white white Camaro, and me and my cousin drove to Mexico. 66, right? It's the 64, right? Drove to Mexico, and we drove to Colorado. 1993, I think. Summertime. Not summer. It was May. I remember because it was warm. It was warm in New York. But when we went through the Colorado mountains, there was snow. And I was like, whoa, look at this. And I never took a long drive like that ever in my life. So that was a phenomenon. We drove through the desert. That was the first time I ever did anything like that in my life. And it was cool. It was cool. I had a 35 millimeter camera with like with like 10 rolls of film. And I took all the pictures. I got them developed. And we went through, like I said, we went through the desert. And I took one, when I was in the desert, I took one cacti, one little cactus. One little tiny, maybe 3 or 4 inches tall. And it was round. And I don't know, like a souvenir, you know? I'm gonna look at that. Oh my goodness. No way. I always think that it's a repunch, and then I look and it's not, because of the just the way the shadow hits it. It's hard to tell. It really is. And it's so flat that I won't keep it. So I saw this little cactus, and I put it in. I think I put it in like a cup or something, you know. And on the way, we had maps. I joined AAA, and we had the maps all the way from, and we got lost a couple of times. This was before cell phones or anything like that. You had to know how to read a map, which I did as an EMT. I had learned how to read maps from the 80s. And but we still got lost a few times. And when you get lost out in the desert, you're driving 100 miles in the wrong direction. But you could do 100, 110 on the highways. And I mean, back then, I'm saying there's nobody around, you know. So we drove in the wrong direction a bunch of times. One of them, we went in the wrong direction, like 100 miles. When we saw the next sign, and we had to come back. But I was driving 100 miles an hour, so it took an hour to, you know. And then, of course, you got to worry about gas and running out of gas, which was 99 cents a gallon back then. So I took this little cactus as a souvenir, you know. So beautiful seeing all these cactus and just getting out and that dry heat. It was nice. It was a nice experience. And there was a not a toll booth, but there was a booth with a uh whatever the type of officer it was in the booth in the middle of the desert. I mean, this was like something out of like a nightmare or something, or you know, some weird kind of dream. You know what I mean? Like you're in the middle of nowhere and there's a booth, you know, with the little stick that goes up and down. And we came over. You have anything? And he started asking questions. I was like, "What's so bizarre? Not even strange, bizarre. I guess people steal cactus, right? I mean, I heard about that. And I'm talking about, you know, the big cactus that people want for, you know, I guess they're very expensive and whatnot. So maybe that has. I have no idea. There's a booth with an officer in the middle of. I look at that stamp there. Hard to tell. Too worn. Too worn. In the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert. Oh, do you have anything you're not supposed to? And you know, I'm such an honest person. I said, I took a little cactus. I don't even know why I told him for. It's so stupid. But I did tell him, and he wanted to see the cactus. I said, all right, here. So you want it? I said, I told him, I think I said, so you want me to put it back? You know what I mean? And like a billion of them, maybe even more than a billion. He said, no, I gotta keep it. I said, let me keep the cactus. I don't know what happened to it. Look at George's face there. He's just got lines in it. So he let me keep the cactus. I can't remember what happened to it. I moved around a lot back then. Hmm. I don't see that too often. Misalign on the reverse. How about the front? No. Maybe a tad. That's interesting. You don't see that too often. What do you think? Should I hold on to it? I'll hold on to it just because I've never seen one before or never noticed one before. Oh, okay. Now the next one has the same, almost exact type of misalignment. Pennsylvania. Okay. Now I don't want it. And I feel like I just haven't been paying attention. Let me have a little more coffee, maybe, right? Yeah, it was a different. It was a different time, man. Different time. Different world. Different world. Things were cheap. Things were cheap. I think that was a big part of it. Inflation is really, really, really. I mean, you got all these channels, and I'm gonna talk about this for a minute. Talking about the news, right? I'll be honest with you. I don't think most of these people who have these channels who are talking about the economy and what's going on. I mean, I don't know them personally, so I'm making an assumption, but my impression is that um, you know, they're and some of them, some of them are showing, pounds of gold. So I'm going to assume it's a pretty good assumption. First of all, if they got $100,000 or 200,000, $250,000 of gold on the table sitting in front of them like a lump of coal, I can make a pretty fair assumption that they're not broke. Okay, if they got that much liquid sitting in front of them, that's number one. And they're talking about they're basically talking about the news, right? Which is cool. It's nice to get your news, and if there's a personality that you like I am, and you get to hear that. I see that reflection thing going straight through the quarter there, and I feel like that's a something. I'm gonna look at it through the loop. But what that something is, I'm not sure. It's probably some sort of plating, missing clad era. It's a little difficult to see, so I'm not going to keep it. And so it's a little difficult to see. It doesn't look that significant, and I have to ask myself: is someone willing to pay $1? This is a quarter, $1.25 for it, and my feeling is no. So, which is great, right? Like I said, you can listen to these other people talking about the economy, and but I kind of question their personal experience, relating to actually experiencing poverty. I'm saying, someone who's lived through impoverished times has a very, very different perspective on life, bring of death, than somebody who was born into, let's say, a middle class family or higher. And I've known them, and they're great people and all that. They struggled less, which is great, right? I mean, I don't wish that upon anyone. It's probably unnecessary. Hard to tell, if this is missing clad or what have you. Then it's not a great example. I wouldn't keep it. A couple more. Here we go. Now, is this missing clad? I think this is missing clad. I'll either put this in the paint stripper. I'll probably put this in the paint stripper. And the same thing with this. I put one in the paint stripper before. If you put into the if you don't remember watching it, type into the search. Even his head looks a little bit like dented in. Let me look at that mint mark too. Nah, it's not full. Then it's just filled. Then it's just dull. If you type in apology or NGC, it'll come up. And these missing clad. This one specifically is definitely missing clad. You can put them in paint stripper. And it's not dirt, right? So it comes out black the same way it goes in, as opposed to if it was dirt, it would be cleaned. So those are pretty cool. I don't know if anybody likes those or interested in them. They're not that rare, but they are pretty cool. So, all right, now we're on the pennies, obviously. Let me go in a little closer. Got to put in at least like 5 power, 5 zoom. And I will put the pennies I have to keep separate because the pennies go back in rolls. The rest of it, so it's gonna be pretty cool because now since I'm putting the pennies in rolls, everything in my change jars is all silver colored, nickel silver, no pennies at all. So I don't know, pretty cool. 98. What I have to, 98. So okay, you know what? I don't even close AM. So of course I'm already forgot how I started the conversation about the economy and other YouTube personalities and all of that stuff. Don't remember. Huh, it's interesting. Oh yeah, definitely a clad era. Calling it a clad era. It's like super duper shiny. 249. But you know what? It's interesting. Probably too. Oh, let me see that. Probably too common though. A too deep, man. I did a whole video on this for Otis yesterday. Now I'm saying yesterday. Remember this video is scheduled out forward, so it's yesterday for me in real time. It'll be like 6 days prior to this video being shown. So we're looking for the 82D copper small date, and this is, I believe, the large date, and I believe it's copper. We'll find out now. It is copper, 3.1. I'll still hold on to it. Has some interesting stuff going on with it. Found the fine in the pocket change. Very nice. But how inflation impacts someone who is poor is much different than how inflation impacts someone who is not poor. 253. And that might seem, like common knowledge. Lamination, annealing. Let's see the back. Sometimes the back will be red. I won't hold on to it because it's just in a small area. But that I'm pretty sure that's annealing. Just as a side note. I wonder if it makes any difference in the weight. 313, 314. And especially if you're older, then
Oh, I was talk. I was talking about. Dri- Imagine that broke. AH, and me and my cousin just decided, hey, let's go to California. We went to Mexico. We drove into Tijuana, and we just picked up our stuff and we split. With I had I want to say I had $800 in my pocket, and I had an '85 Camaro. Imagine that, broke, but I had $800, and I put the zincs to the right for some reason. I don't know why. I saw them over there, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Oh, you don't see 2001s that often, for whatever reason. But that's to show you what how the power of the economy can affect someone's life. I mean, as a real example, not some highlighted newsreel that somebody's trying to make their own. A real life experience. Okay, $800, 90. I came back with $20, 2.55. I came back with $20 in my pocket over the George Washington Bridge. $800. We drove. Oh, that's a beauty. Oh wow, that's a nice misaligned die. Let's see the back. Let's check the. No, I have to do it this way. $800. No, it's pretty. It's pretty good. And we had the experience of a lifetime. Two people. He was broke. He had nothing on him. Yeah, I'll hold on to that one. He had. I don't even know if he had $5 on him, to be honest with you. That set. Don't tell me that set that 5 and 7 that they're not a little bit split. I won't hold on to it, but just saying. I have to look at that D. Nobody today that I know of can jump into their car and split for 2 weeks. Nobody who's poor, I'm saying. At 3.50 a gallon, whatever it is. We changed the oil ourselves. I'm definitely looking at that 9. We brought I can't did we bring it with us, the oil for the oil change? But we changed the oil ourselves. In the no, it's just hold on a second. No, it's dirt or discoloration that it's just coming from the line on the 9, and it makes it look like it's extra metal, but it's not. Yeah, we gave the oil change ourselves. Oil was 99 cents a quart back then. Gas was 99 cents, basically. I'll weigh this one. 248. I'm gonna put this little note. I have a note for myself here for the bonus feature. That's a beauty. I knew it wasn't. I didn't know. I had a feeling it was not copper. Just can't do it, man. That's just. Hey, we got $800. Want to go drive to Mexico? Yeah, sure. Let's go. I mean, You know people doing stuff like that? Then I guess you do. I don't. Haven't even heard of anything like that. I mean, I know some people, you know. Anyway, but that's to show you, you know, what would it take now, you know, to just jump in your car and from New York to drive to Mexico and back and stop. We stopped. We even went to on the way back. We even went to um I don't know if that's a mint error. I doubt it. 999, which I didn't check the other one for the wide AM. Or is it the close AM? No, wide AM. Sorry. We even stopped at Las Vegas on the way back, and they were just building. So if you want to know exactly when we went through it, you could check when they. Oh wait, this one. They were building whatever casino that is that has the Eiffel Tower. They were building it. The cranes were out, and they were building that casino when we were driving through. And we went inside one of the casinos. I spent that's a nice one. I'll put this into the fines with the fines. I spent I think $30. Maybe we had a beer or something like that. I don't remember. I don't even remember that. I don't even think maybe we didn't even have a beer. But we passed through, and you can see Las Vegas, right? Because we were coming from California, driving back towards New York, and you can see and it was middle of the night, and you can see Las Vegas from I want to say 100 miles away, right? Because the desert is so flat. And it's a glow in the night sky, man, like aliens coming or something like that. I'm telling you, it's bananas. And we were driving like 100 miles an hour, and let me tell you, 50 was out there, and they, you know what? And we're talking about 1993. You know what they were driving? 5.0s. That's a beauty. That's a beauty. I'll put that with the. I mean, this is. I'm gonna put that with the AUs. 5.0 Mustangs. Vroom. This one has probably something with the clad. I'm not keeping it though. I'm gonna weigh this one. Oh no, it's copper. I'm sorry, it's copper. That's a that's a kneeling. That's an annealing error. I I shouldn't say that. I think it is. Super could be clad too, but it's super dark. Not as dark as the ones from yesterday. The clad that's the one that looks like paint. That's annealed. I'm saying if it's not paint, I'm saying that's an annealing error. If it looks like paint but it's not paint, that's annealing. That's from the dust and all that. And I did a video on it. I could do a better one. That was just a quickie because I found a red penny, a brown penny, and a black penny all in that one video. I think yesterday. I'll keep that one. No, I won't. Nah, I'm not going to keep that. The one from yesterday was like paint brown paint. So yes, things have changed a lot. 92, 92, 92, 92. The double ear. Oh wow, does it have it? I don't know. I mean, I see the line on it, but I don't think that's the double ear. I have to look at it under the loop. I don't think that's the double ear. No, it looks like the starting of the double ear. Like that's why they get the double ear because of whatever that issue is with whatever the die, the cap, the machinery, the anvil, the hammer, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's how good the economy was at that point in time, as I recall. This is a great parking lot era. Oh, that's a beauty. I'll hold on to that. Okay, so nothing to write home about in today's pocket change. Of course, there will be the, I'll wait this one. There will be the members only significant fines for anybody who wants to. 256, whoever wants to watch them. I still do it. I do it right after the, once I finish with the bonus features, I shut off the, I end this video. I just press play again and I start off on camera for the members, which is what I am going to talk a little bit about in the bonus features. So if you don't want to watch it after we're done with the pennies, then I will see you on the next one. I'm going to weigh this one and shut it off. 248. And I will see you on the next one. So, how are you? How's everybody doing today? Episode 44. And yesterday we got yesterday in real time of today, 5 or 6 days ago, when you're viewing this scheduled, which the only people who can watch this scheduled are the members, which at this point we have one member, Keen Eye Collectibles, and I did a special video for him as he was the first, and probably for other people, if anybody wants it, I don't care. If you become a member and you want it, I'll do it. That's not an issue. Until I get too busy, obviously. So, Keen Eye, his name is Eric, right? He wrote that in his message, public message. And I'm assuming that that's maybe what you want to be called, is Eric instead of Keen Eye, which is, of course, fine. And it's so interesting. I'm sharing my experience with you, right? This is the bonus feature. Anybody who doesn't want to watch the bonus feature, who is done with the change, has left already. This is for the true believers. So I got to get into the right frame. So Eric's our first member. Congratulations if you're watching this. Thank you if you're watching this. And I noticed it was really cool. So I'm going through. It was funny. It was funny. My reaction was funny. So I'm going through my analytics and the comments and all of that, and I see views on my scheduled videos. I'm like, what's going on? And so I never saw that, right? Because I've been doing scheduled videos now for a while. And I said, because I know there's like a hack or something like that, or I read it. And I see views on the videos. I'm like, how? And then I see a comment on the videos. I'm like, what's going on here? So I click on the video and I see Eric's comments. I'm like, and he writes, "Let's go!" Like a real cool, "Let's go!" Like, hey, like into it, man. It was dope, man. That's what I gotta say. It was great. It was a great moment, we have, right? You have a rough life. I feel you. Okay, I've been there. I have rough days, like everyone does. And those little moments, there we go. Those little moments of happiness, of joy, are important in our life, And it was cool because I'm like, what's going on? And then I see a comment, I'm like, and then I see let's go. It was just really super cool. And even believe it or not, I'll be honest with you, even when I saw that, I didn't know he was a member. He just wrote that, and I was still like, was like kind of confused. And then it dawned on me, and I went into my membership and I saw him there, and that's how the story went. And so our only member is the one who he like um Otis and um like rockers leave help me out a lot with my research on the pennies. And um now Eric is looking at my future videos, and he made comments about what did you say? And I wrote them down. I did write it down, so um, with the extra V on the new pennies, on the zinc pennies, and the circle. And I know you've mentioned that to me several times. Now it's funny, right? This video is not coming out for about 5 days, but you are watching this maybe today when I'm scheduling it, because it goes to from members to public. And again, I'm doing this. I have the extra time today, so I'm doing an extra video. Um, that way, I don't lose a day, and also to create content for members, which right now is just Eric, and he can watch this video today when I posted it, and leave me comments about stuff that no one else is going to be able to see for like 5 days. And that will give me time to do research and make adjustments in your past, everyone, all non-members past, Eric's present. Oh, it's wild, man. It's wild. And today, this morning, when I read my comments, you left me the message about the extra V and the circle, which will take time for me to integrate that into my routine, because obviously I mostly look at pennies at this point, and you're giving me this extra information, and that's going to take it. You have this knowledge, you've learned it somehow already through your research and your training and everything like that. Now I have to do the same thing, but you're able to tell me it right away from looking at my watching my videos that I'm scheduling. Anyway, long story short, that is the bonus content today. And I thought that was pretty cool, and I want to share the immediate sensation and experience with all my viewers. You're all great. Being a member is really, it's just something special. You know what I mean? It's somebody who is saying, um, "Hey, I really like Jess's channel. I like his content. I like listening to him, and I'm going to be around for a while." And that's special. I'm sure as the years go on, there's going to be members coming and going, but there's going to be some that are going to stay around forever. I mean, there are channels that I am loyal to, and the same members, they're part of the show. I actually know those members almost as well as I do the person who the show is. You get familiar with them. And right now there are three. There's one member and two loyal subscribers who maybe might become members, because there'll be another level to their interaction with the channel and with me. And you you're basically becoming part of the show. And there's no other way for me to put that, right? Because Otis, Rockers, and Eric, three people now that I'm talking about regularly. Can there be 100 or 1,000? I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when we get there. If and when we get there, the Lord so puts in my path, then yes. Otherwise, whatever we're blessed with, then we're blessed with. But you three right now are kind of like part of the channel, and then there's other subscribers who make comments who I do mention, and they might leave a comment. There's a person who told me about, oh man, he you only leave a comment every like once every week or two or three. I say your name's not coming to my head, but you know who you are. You have a small channel, and I appreciate it. Um, but obviously, at this point in the channel's growth, a member would get, first of all, then I'll start having a list of members to say, hey, I mean, Eric's going to be the only one getting real shout outs on a regular basis because you're the member. But at some point, maybe if there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever, then I'll have a list. And at the end, I'll say, oh, shout out. Thank you for being a member of these people. Whenever that happens. But I wanted to share that. That was really, really cool. It was kind of sensational. And I think that's all I got for that. Okay. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.